in play. That's a fair ball to Jake. What a play from Jake Oliver. And that is destroyed. Tie game. 60. In play, that's a fair ball to Jake. What a play from Jake Oliver. And that is destroyed. Tie game. 60. That's in play down the third baseline. Peter makes a great play from Peter McNeil.
Justice already took advantage of that. What a play over at third.
He's heading home. Oh, he's out. He's gonna be out. Jordan Rice heads out. Trey Cluxton right.
Get out, ball later!
And he might have just missed it! Got it wrong from Jordan Rice! And that's a shot! That's a what a play!
In play, that's a fair ball to Jake. What a play from Jake Oliver. And that is destroyed. Tie game. That's in play down the third baseline. Peter makes the great play from Peter McNeil.
To that. What a play over at third.
That's in play, and he might have just missed it. Caught it wrong from Jordan Rice.
Cross, get out, ball later.
And that ball is out of here. Walk-off home run. Oh, top for the out as Barrett's coming home. And that's a shot. Zach Conway. He's running third. He's heading home. Oh, he's out. He's gonna be out. Flipped over to first. I don't know if I like it.
Flips to first. Oh, and moonshot. Oh, he rolled it. Flare it up. What a play for Peter McNeil.
Welcome back to AWA Field for Wednesday night wiffle ball. It's a regular season matchup between the Atlantic Aces and the Metropolitan Mojo, the two new expansion teams to the AWA this season, going at it for the first time ever in the team's histories. I'm Mark Campanaro, joined alongside Chase Winkler for tonight's matchup between the Aces and the Mojo, and this should be an interesting matchup between the two teams. First time these two teams are ever facing each other in the history of the AWA. I'm excited for tonight.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a fun one. You know, you got the Mojo and the Aces, like you said, facing off for the first time in their history. Mojo looking like they're down a couple guys right now, so that'll be interesting to see how that develops throughout the next 10 minutes or so. But my main thing for the Aces is how Moses will be on the mound today for them, obviously getting to start game one. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking towards today.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting matchup tonight. Looking at the starting lineups for your Metropolitan Mojo, only a three-man squad for the Mojo tonight. Dominic DeMiro will hit first, Trey Clugston second, and Austin Whitehouse rounds out the Mojo squad, hitting third. This is not uncharted territory for the Mojo. They have had three players normally on their roster this season, and they're going to go back to having three players again here tonight. For the Atlantic Aces, they're going to start with Aaron Schofield hitting first. Moses Valadez will be pitching, hitting second. Morgan Granich at first base, hitting third. Jack Scholl at second, hitting fourth. And Kanoa Jandok will be the designated hitter tonight, hitting fifth and rounding out the Aces squad. Those are your starting lineups for Aces Mojo. We're going to send it down to Jack Blayhouse, who has Trey Clugston over on first base.
I'm here with former Nighthawk, my former teammate, Trey Clugston, now captain of the Metropolitan Mojo. Now, Trey, you guys are 6-6. You're playing the other expansion team, and the Atlantic Aces 6-6. What's the plan today to kind of move ahead of them and prove yourself you're the better expansion team this year?
I really think it's going to come down to pitching. Pitching's always been a big thing here at the AWA. If your pitcher's on, you got a chance. If your pitcher's not on, it's going to turn into a home run fest, which isn't necessarily bad, but as a team that's trying to win, not great. Not great.
Now, speaking of pitching, I know as you were a member of my team last 3 years, you had your ups and your downs. Overall, you were a little shaky. This year, completely different story. You got a 2 ERA, one of the best pitchers in the league. You shut down my team, your former team, down. How are you going to continue that success here today?
I'm just hoping I can do the same thing. It felt pretty good earlier. Kept the speed up. That was the big thing that hurt me the last few years. Just sitting at like 45. Might as well be kind of lobbing him in underhand. But no, we're getting better movement, better fielding this year too from everybody. That's going to be the big key, honestly. More speed, better fielding.
And to begin, you will have three players today. Dominic DeMiro, you're just waiting on him. Is there someone arriving here late? Oh no, someone else. But playing with three people, you guys have done it before, and honestly, it hasn't really affected you guys' game plan. What is it like to play with three people, and how do you kind of combat these potent offenses with just three defenders?
Really, it's just positioning during fielding and then hoping for good pitching. Hitting is honestly actually easier just because we know we're going to get more reps every game. It's easier for us to get up, get into a groove, keep that line moving. But yeah, really just keeping our fielders positioned well for any kind of hit that could come our way, because it's a decent sized field. It's hard to cover that with two outfield players and one pitcher.
Very true. Well, good luck today, sir, and I'm rooting for you.
And you just heard from Trey Clugston of the Metropolitan Mojo, former Northern Nighthawks player. Jack Blayhouse and Trey Clugston used to be former teammates back in the day and won a World Series with each other back in 2020, two former teammates. And Trey Clugston, I mean, he had his ups and downs, as it was mentioned in the interview, with the Nighthawks pitching. And, with the Mojo this season, that has not been the case at all. He's been excellent this season with the Mojo and really been that number 2 pitcher for the Mojo to complement Dom as the ace. And although the Mojo are sitting at 6-6 this year on the season, they have had some issues with, subs and not having their guys at every single game. And, with Trey Clugston and Dominic on the mound, they're a really difficult team to beat, and it makes me wonder. I don't think that 6-6 record is, speaking to how good this team actually is.
Yeah, I can't recall a game where I've seen Trey and Dom actually play together in the same game, honestly. So, I'm hoping to see them two be the dynamic duo tonight. Trey's coming off that nasty injury last year, and kind of getting a new chance here, new team, you know, fresh slate on the Mojo, and he's taking full advantage of it. So.
Absolutely, yeah, and a great hitter as well. I mean, Trey just a couple of seasons ago was in the top 5 in home runs in the league, and great leadoff hitter, and you know, just all around a great player. And with him adding that pitching repertoire and being able to hit the zone and pitch effectively and limit the walks, he's just adding to his game, and it's been great to see. We're about to get Game 1 started between the Aces and the Mojo here shortly. You know, we've been talking a lot about the Mojo, but let's talk about the Aces. The Aces have been great this season. Moses Valadez has really been the heart and soul of this team. He's done it both at the plate and on the mound. Mostly what's been most important for this Aces squad is how well he's been pitching for them this season. Really emerged as their ace and really a big part of their team. We saw when he went down a couple of series ago how it just completely affected this squad, and they ended up losing that series after Valadez went down. But when he came back, you know, the Aces were able to win another series, and they've been rolling since he's come back.
Yeah, he's definitely the backbone of this team pitching-wise, and like you said, this team had one of the best opening days for an expansion team I've ever seen. I mean, they just came out so hot. I think swept their first 2 or 3 series. I mean, this team was unstoppable, and then like you said, that injury happened to Moses, and it kind of just caught him up a little bit, and here they are now 6-6, have been on a little bit of a skid here, but today's the day to get back on it against the Mojo. Only 2 players, and maybe Moses can really show that he's back after his start last week.
Absolutely, and you know, we'll definitely see it here tonight between the Mojo and the Aces. Again, first ever matchup between these two squads in the AWA history. Both new expansion teams to the league this season, and we're excited to see these two teams face each other tonight.
Yep.
If you take a look at your screen right now, you'll notice that we have a Fantasy Wiffle Ball, brand new this season to the AWA. Make sure you go to playertrader.net/AWA to play today. You can choose your favorite Fantasy Wiffle Ball players, and the teams with the most points every week will be able to win prizes in the league this season. Make sure you go to playertrader.net/AWA to play today. Fantasy Wiffle Ball is here in the AWA.
And it's free.
It is free. It is free.
No money, baby.
I like that price.
You hear from the players there?
Nothing better than free.
Looks like we're ready to go here.
Gonna get pitch number 1 started here in game number 1. First pitch about to be underway. The first pitch from Valadez in there for strike 1.
Catches the zone there on the first pitch of the game.
0-1 here to Clugston. Trey fouls that one off. 0-2 to start the game off. As Valadez throws that in the dirt for ball 1. 1-2 the count here to Trey Clugston.
You know, I wasn't here the last time the Aces played, and
hits the zone, strike 3. Trey Clugston strikes out on 4 pitches to start game number 1. Up to the plate now is Austin Whitehouse for the Mojo.
This will be my first time seeing Moses since he went down with his injury, so I'm really interested to see how he responds. I know he's had a series in between, but it seems like he's fully healthy today.
And it'll definitely be an interesting series. Again, Mojo only having 3 men. They are very used to that, though. They've played multiple series here this season with only 3. But the Mojo are going to have a full squad tonight. Swing and a miss there from Austin Whitehouse, 2-1.
There's that courtesy swing, 3-0 count. Nice job by Austin there.
Hits the zone, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now to Whitehouse. Ground ball over to Aaron Schofield at third, and that ball had a ton of spin on it. Schofield not able to field that cleanly, and Austin Whitehouse is going to be on with an infield single. Runner on first, 1 away. Back up to the plate is Trey Clugston. Dominic DeMiro just a little late here tonight for the Mojo, so Mojo rocking just only Austin Whitehouse and Trey Clugston for the time being.
And you have to wonder if this is going to help the Mojo here early because, I mean, they're getting early at bats early and often. I mean, Trey, third batter of the game, he's already seen Moses twice, so feel like that can really help him out this game, get going, get the bats going early in this series.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, depending on how you're hitting, I mean, having less men on the squad might actually be an advantage. So we'll see how Trey Clugston and Austin Whitehouse can fare against this fully stacked Aces squad.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss there from Clugston.
But if you're the Mojo, you still gotta hope Dom shows up here pretty soon, leading the team in home runs and
Absolutely.
RBIs. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Dom's definitely a front runner for MVP this season. So whenever he's not on the team, that's a big loss for the Mojo. 2-2 is the count here to Clugston. Hits the zone. And Trey Clugston strikes out looking. He was shocked that hit the zone. Great pitch from Valadez, and there's now 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Back up to the plate, Austin Whitehouse.
and that was just a mild 47 miles per hour right there. Just slowed it up on him and really caught him off guard on that pitch.
Great job there from Valadez as the count now to Whitehouse is 1-0. Swing and a miss evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss again on the sinker from Valadez, and he's now ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Down goes Austin Whitehouse. What an inning for Moses Valadez. 3 strikeouts, no run score for the Mojo in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first here in game number 1. Trey Clugston will be pitching for the Mojo here in game number 1. Aaron Schofield up to the plate for the Aces, leading it off. First pitch from Clugston is in there for strike 1, and Trey just starting off hot. 0-2 now here to Schofield, and it's been a surprise. You know, Trey was definitely practicing here in the offseason. He's really found it. And, you know, something that's been really cool to see this season is, you know, the last couple of years with some of these guys in the league, you know, they haven't really figured out pitching as Aaron Schofield swings and misses there. Oh, it was too fast on the gun, no pitch, so the count will remain a ball and 2 strikes.
But yeah, like you're saying, I mean, I'm not used to seeing this velo from.
Popped up into the air, it's deep, and that's out of here. Aaron Schofield hits it over the fence. I thought it was going to stay in the yard, but Schofield goes over the left field wall for a solo shot, and the Aces, they take an early 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first, and that is massive. Aaron Schofield originally thought he had struck out, but there was a pitch clock violation, or I guess you could say a speed check violation.
Yeah, and like you were
goes
saying,
over the wall.
That ball didn't look like it was going to get out right away, but just it got up there, and it's a pretty warm day here, and this was about 5-10 feet easily over the wall for a nice home run to lead it off for the Aces today.
Pretty impressive. Swing to miss there from Valadez. It's 0-1. Ground ball over to Austin Whitehouse, and this is difficult because there's nobody covering first over there with the Mojo only having 2 men. Valadez reaches first base easily.
Yeah, that's going to be.
And he's going to be awarded second base as Whitehouse threw that out of play. So runner on second for the Aces.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean, not used to as a pitcher. I mean, practice PFPs all the time on the baseball field, but hardly ever in wiffle ball, right?
Oh, I know. Trey's going to have to be running over to first base every time there's a ground ball over to Whitehouse.
Yeah.
Fouls that one back. 1-1 the count here to Greenwich. But yeah, like we were saying about the pitching, I mean, you know, guys who may not have been the greatest pitchers in the last couple of seasons have really turned it on, and Trey Clugston is one of those guys. 1-2 the count to Greenwich.
Yeah, you know, I'm loving this from Trey. He's got his velo up this year more than past. He used to sit around 54, 55, if I'm correct, and now first 2 pitches of the game is in 59-60, just pounding that zone, and you could see that the Schofield had trouble his first couple swings with it, but squared it up then. But yeah, great pitching so far from Trey.
It's just encouraging too, and that's popped up in the air, foul down the first base side. 2-2 will remain the count here to Greenwich, but it's just encouraging to see, you know, these guys in the league improving just year after year, and I think the hitting stats this season attest to how good the pitching's been this season.
Yeah, I mean, even you, Mark, I mean, your pitching's been awesome this year.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember you shut us down in that one game, so I think you're only 1 inning away from being eligible for up there in the pitching leaderboard. So, I mean, testament to you. And what, did you and Trey get together this offseason or something and find like a wiffle ball guru pitcher?
I guess so. I don't really know what happened. Morgan Greenwich strikes out there. Just 1 away in the bottom of the first. Jack Scholl to the plate now for the Aces. But, well, thank you, Chase. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You just got to love to see it. Love to see the pitching, like you said. Just, hey, man, you keep working. Like, it's awesome to see, honestly.
Ball 1 here to Jack Scholl. Swing and a miss there. Great pitch from Trey.
If only I could learn how to pitch one of these days.
Oh, you will. You will. Just keep at it, and you're gonna get it down. You're gonna get it down for sure.
Dom running out onto the field here for the Mojo.
DeMiro finally making it to the field, and they're definitely happy to have him back. Whitehouse shades on over to play in between first and second base.
Like you said, nice to have that early MVP front runner back out there for them.
Swing and a miss. Jack Scholl strikes out swinging. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Back up to the plate is Aaron Schofield. Solo home run, and has his first at-bat of the ball game.
Nice job by Trey after giving up the home run and the base hit. First 2 batters proceeded to strike out the next 2 guys to kind of slow it down a little bit for the Aces here. 2 outs in the bottom of the first, just down a run.
0-1 the count to Schofield. Swing and a miss. That sinker getting Schofield the chase. 0-2, but Schofield had a 2-strike count in his last at bat, and he was able to go yard. See what he can do here with an 0-2 count. Does well to hold off. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It didn't even seem like Sko got it on the barrel his last at bat and still put it out.
I didn't think so either. I started the call up as being a pop-up. Yeah. Ended up going over the left field wall.
Starting to get warmer and warmer here every day, and the ball is starting to fly a little more and
Ball's
more here every day.
Yep. Full count here to Aaron Schofield. Swing and a miss. The sinker gets Schofield the chase for out number 3. But the Aces score 1 off of an Aaron Schofield solo home run. They lead it early. Go to the top of the second here in game number 1.
And here we are, Dom getting ready to take his first hacks of the day, showing up here in this past bottom of the inning. Great sight here for the Mojo, only down a run.
Going to be a competitive game here now between the 2 squads. little bit weird for the Mojo to only be playing with 2 men. That's rarely happened in the AWA.
Yeah.
And
I mean, don't have Tom here either. Just usually sub in as their third guy, right?
Exactly. Hey, but the Mojo didn't do too bad without Dom. It's only 1-0 here.
No, I think that was almost best case scenario in a way. Only gave up 1 little run. Trey did his thing on his mound, striking 2 guys out, and got out of it with little damage.
1 ball and 2 strikes here to DeMiro. Swing and a miss, and DeMiro down on strikes for the first out here in the top of the second. 1 away for Trey Clugston. Flips the hair back there.
Flips back, hat backwards. No shades this at bat. I'm sure we'll see him at some point this series.
1-0 here to Clugston. Fouls that one off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, and in the dirt, 2-1, and really looking for Trey to get hot here. He was one of the leading home run leaders just 2 seasons ago in the AWA for the Nighthawks.
Very streaky hitter. Can rattle off 3 or 4 in a game easily.
Fouls that one down the third base side. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
He's got 1 so far, or 2 home runs so far this year. But I mean, yeah, like you said, he's has career 39 home runs. So no stranger to putting it over the fence.
That's actually a pretty good number, Trey.
Fouls that one back. Count remains full here to Trey Clugston. And that's ball 4 outside. Trey Clugston will walk.
Good at bat by Trey there.
Mojo get a runner on with 1 away. Austin Whitehouse to the plate for the Mojo. Whitehouse hitting .250 on the season. Couple of home runs, 10 RBIs.
Just below 300 batting average.
63 too fast. The count will remain 1-0 here to Whitehouse.
Moses looking real good today. Seems like he hasn't missed a beat from the last time I saw him.
Good to see, as Valadez will definitely be a key piece to this Aces squad as they try to make their first ever push to the World Series. 3-1 the count here to Whitehouse. Looks at a ball inside. He will walk.
That pitch missed by a hair. Tough pitch right there for Moses.
Dominic DeMiro will step in. Runners on first and second, 1 away for DeMiro.
Prime opportunity here.
Popped up into the air, and that is out of here. Dominic DeMiro goes opposite field for a 3-run home run in the Mojo. Now lead it 3-1 here in the top of the second. Dominic DeMiro, a 3-run home run, and he just keeps pushing for that MVP.
Yeah, he had that first at battery. Looked a little lost, not lost. I mean, he got thrown right into the game, right? I mean, no batting practice or anything, and so finally got a decent pitch from Moses there, and runners on first. And
popped up, that'll stay in the yard as Jack Scholl's right underneath it to make the grab for out number 2.
That ball's just flying today, so I mean, just get under it a little bit, put a good hard swing on, and that ball's gonna fly over the wall today.
Now batting is Austin Whitehouse as he swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. Incredible job there by DeMiro. I mean, what a huge hit he just had to give the Mojo a 2-run lead in the top of the second.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes he's single-handedly powering this team to wins at times with his pitching and hitting like that. I mean, I think that's his 6th home run of the year, tying it with you and Jake, so having a great season so far.
Austin Whitehouse strikes out swinging to end the top of the second, but the Mojo take the lead off of a Dominic DeMiro 3-run home run. We go to the bottom of the second here in game number 1. Moses Valadez leads it off here for the Aces. Start this bottom of the second, swing and a miss, 0-1. Inside, ball one here to Valadez, 1-1 the count.
Moses had a single his first at bat, hit it to the left side, and no one was at first. So, nice little single, padding the stats.
Hey, whatever works, whatever works. Ground ball over to DeMiro at third, and DeMiro was playing way back. Unfortunately, soft ground ball just didn't have a play. Valadez will reach on an infield single. One on, nobody out here for Morgan Granich. Morgan Granich hitting .250 on the year. Still looking for that first home run, 7 RBIs. Three and 0 here to Granich. Swing and a miss. A nice 3-0 swing there from Granich. You know, as a rookie, you know, that first one's always the toughest, and once you get it out of the way, that's when you just start going off.
I'll never forget the pressure I put on myself my first season. Like, I didn't care if I struck out 20 times in that first game. As long as I hit a home run, I was like, just felt so good. But yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. Like you're saying, the pitching is at an all-time best this year. So
yep.
Yeah, no better time than now.
3-1 is the count to Morgan Granich. Aces down a couple of runs here in the bottom of the second. That's fouled off. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Thought that could have been it right there.
Hits Granich on the back. He will walk, and the Aces now get runners on first and second with nobody out. Kanoa Jandok, or excuse me, Jack Scholl will step in for the Aces.
4 home runs on the year for Jack.
Ground ball over to DeMiro at third. He throws and is able to hit Valadez on the ankle for out number 1. Great job there from DeMiro to get the lead runner. Runners on first and second for Kanoa Jandok, 1 away. This will be Jandok's first at-bat of the game. Pitch inside for ball 1. Low and in the dirt for ball 2. 2-0 here to Jandok.
Kanoa's only got a .226 average so far this year, but he's had some real clutch home runs. I think he has 1 or 2 walk-off home runs so far this year, so he's got that ice in his veins, so to say.
3-0 now to Jandok. He holds off there for a 4-pitch walk. That's going to load the bases for the Aces. Up steps Aaron Schofield, solo home run back in the first inning for the Aces. See if he can do it again here with a grand slam.
Leading the Aces in average with a .464 average, just outside the top 5 in the league.
So that's low and in the dirt, ball number 1. Pretty impressive from Schofield. Always been a very good hitter, and finally gets his own team as he was with the Wolfpack last season.
Yeah, and had a slow start to the season, so to say. Maybe that a little bit of pressure being the captain of a new team, but he's really turned it around so far. And just
it's going to hit Schofield for ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. It's going to walk in a run for the Aces. 3-2 now the score as Granich comes in to score. Moses Valadez steps in with the bases loaded. Still only 1 away here in the bottom of the second.
2 for 2 today. 2 singles to the left side of the field.
Big swing and a miss there from Valadez for strike 1. It's low and in the dirt from Trey Clugston. And, you know, Trey hasn't really had a whole lot of troubles this season. Having a little bit of issues here in the bottom of the second with some walks. Trying to get some control of his pitches.
Yeah, struggling to find the zone here this inning. Walked in a run and looking like about to walk in another one with his 3-1 count.
Pitch on the way to Valadez just misses outside. Ball 4. That's going to walk in another run for the Aces. Game is now tied 3-3. Morgan Granich will step in now, and you know Trey Clugston's going to really need to find it here if he wants to limit the damage.
Yeah, they've got one out here, like you were saying, tie ball game, bases loaded. He needs a big strikeout or something like here, an easy pop up, but Aces have been shown they've been a little stingy the past couple of bats, taking their walks, making them pitch to them, and we'll see what Morgan does here.
Granich looks at ball 1 inside, 1-0. That just high from Clugston, 2 balls, no strikes.
And this would be a perfect time for Morgan to record his first career home run.
Swing and a miss, strike number 1, 2-1, and you know, the unfortunate thing for Granich was about a series ago, he had a hard hit line drive to the very top of the fence over in right field as he swings and misses there to even the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Two count.
Swing and a miss, and that is the massive strikeout that Trey Clugston and the Mojo needed. There's now 2 away in the bottom of the second.
Great job by Trey there. You're saying he needed that huge strikeout there, and he got it on a nice 56-mile-per-hour cutter.
Now up to the plate is Jack Scholl, who leads this Aces squad in home runs this season. 4 home runs on the year for Scholl. Swing and a miss from him for strike 1. One ball and 1 strike. Now to Scholl. Swing and a miss there. A ball and 2 strikes to Scholl. Game is tied. Ace has got ducks on the pond, so to say, and Scholl. Swing and a miss for strike 3. But the Aces, they get a couple of runs here in the bottom of the second. The score is now tied 3-3. We go to the final inning here in game number 1. Dominic DeMiro will lead it off here for the Mojo as he looks at ball 1 outside, 1-0. DeMiro with a 3-run home run last inning for the Mojo.
Yep, had that big swing for them. Tie this ball game up 3-3 here in the top of the third now, and looking to do some more damage.
Ripped into left center. DeMiro rounding first. He's going to look, and he's going to go, and he is safe. What a job there from DeMiro, a risky run. He's called safe at second. It looks like Valadez is going to want to appeal for the Aces, so we'll go to the booth to see if he's safe or out. If call on the field is safe, we'll see what they say. Safe is the call. It's upheld. DeMiro safe at second. That was a risky move, but it works out for the Mojo.
Yeah, he had the easy single there and decided to stretch it with a ball that just barely got by the second baseman. Luckily, he did like a little bunny hop to avoid it and almost got caught off the bag there.
So that pitch is just high to Trey Clugston, 2-0 the count. Swing and a miss from Clugston. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Trey will be looking to get it going here. 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. But like we were saying, once he gets going, it's going to be a flurry.
Hits the zone. What a pitch there from Valadez on a 3-1 count. Brings it to full, 3-2.
Oh.
Hits the zone, and Trey Clugston strikes out looking. What a job there from Valadez. One away.
Moses has just been toying with Trey so far today. That's his third time striking him out looking on a pitch less than 50 miles per hour just on that inside corner. So Valdez has got Trey's number so far today.
And that's one thing about Trey's hitting that, you know, is good and bad. He's a very patient hitter. Sometimes causes him to strike out looking.
A little too patient, sometimes to a fault like you were saying, but when he's feeling good, he's feeling good.
That is just inside there to Whitehouse. 3-0 the count. Outside for ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Austin Whitehouse. Runners on first and second for Dominic DeMiro, and it's never fun to pitch to DeMiro when there's runners on.
No, I mean, he took Moses Oppo for his second at bat, and then drive the line drive right to that left center field for a nice single, and now he's up again with runners on first and second, 1 out.
Tie ball game here in the final inning of game number 1. Mojo trying to take the lead here. That's a half swing over to Jack Scholl, and Austin Whitehouse was off the base. Scholl tried to tag him out for a double play, but Scholl threw it out of play, so the runners will be awarded a bag over at second and third. The Mojo now have the tying run on at, or the go-ahead run on at third base for Trey Clugston. Not a bad play there from Jack Scholl. Unfortunately, just missed the tag out on Whitehouse.
Yeah, he had Whitehouse dead in the water there. Just missed him by another half a hair, like I've been saying all game. So Jack, I'm sure, wishes he had that throw back, but not a bad situation. 2 outs here.
First pitch from Valadez to Trey Clugston is outside. 1-0. Clugston struck out in his last at-bat.
Trey's got to be looking to hit here.
Bit inside there for ball 2, 2-0.
Walk doesn't help you out here, just moves you down the lineup with that free base open.
Ground ball past Valadez on the mound. Granich is coming over, flips over to Scholl and gets the out. What a play there from Morgan Granich to get out of a jam. No run score for the Mojo in the top of the third. Score remains 3-3. We go to the bottom of the third here in game number 1. Noah Jandok leads it off here for the Aces, bottom of the third. Aces looking to walk this game off, 3-3. 1-0 here to Jandok.
Who better else than Kanoa up right now? I think he leads the team in walk-off wins or walk-off home runs so far this year with 2, if I'm not mistaken. I know he for sure has 1.
Pretty impressive stat line for Jandok, the clutch gene, some might say. 2-1 is the count. Swing and a miss evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Had that controversial home run off his hands that then went and hit the bat, so.
Ended up helping the Aces get a win against Evan Clugston and the Cyclones. Pretty impressive there from Jandok, but definitely one of the weirder home runs we've seen in the AWA this season. Jandok does not go there, or ball 4 does well to hold off. Runner on first here in the bottom of the third. Aaron Schofield is going to step in. And we've been told by the booth, we reviewed that play, he did not go around, so that's a walk for Jandok. as well to start it off here in the bottom of the third as Schofield looks at ball one. So really close, but
yeah, tough view up here for us also. I mean, we're right behind. It's easier if we had umpires all over the field, right? But
yeah.
doing our best up here.
2-0 to Schofield. Fouls that one back into the zone for strike one, 2-1.
Schofield's 1 for 2. He's got that home run early in the game.
And you'll see that from us here in the booth quite a bit. You know, we'll appeal to the productions table a few times. You know, why not? We want to make sure we get the calls right. As that is ripped foul down the third base side.
Yeah, I mean, we got the cameras, but might as well use them, right?
Exactly. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now to Aaron Schofield.
Ball was ripped down to the third base line, but just about a foot or two foul.
As that is behind Schofield for ball 4, and the Aces get their first 2 runners on. Runners on first and second for Moses Valadez, the winning run for the Aces, now in scoring position over at second base.
Not the start you want right now for Trey. He's got to bear down here and get some swing and misses like that right there.
Strike 1 here to Valadez. Yeah, it's definitely not the way you want to start it off here in the bottom of the third with a couple of walks. 1-1. Knuckleball gets Valadez to chase. Strike 2, a ball and 2 strikes to Valadez.
I'm starting to see that a lot more from pitchers around that league, that slow ball that's just missing the zone on the outside. Getting the hitters to bite at it thinking they can crush it. It's just not even close to a strike, making them get out of their regular stance and getting an awkward swing.
2-2 here to Valadez. Outside again, and the count now moves full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way is outside, and Clugston loses Valadez. He has now walked the last 3 batters. Bases are loaded for Morgan Granich. And this Aces team is definitely patient at the plate.
Yeah.
Able to get the winning run on over at third base, and Kanoa Jandok 1-0 here to Granich. Swing and a miss from Granich.
You know, Granich would love to end this game on just an absolute missile, whether it's over the wall, base hit somewhere, just get a nice rip of a hit and end this ball game.
1-1 is the count. Pitch to Granich, outside for ball 2. 2-0, 2-1. This is a difficult situation for the Mojo. Bases loaded, nobody out. Winning run on over at third. Granich does well to hold off, and the count is now 3-1.
Yeah, you got to attack the hitter here, and that's a lot easier said than done when you're out there on the mound and losing control, and I've walked the previous 3 guys. I mean, Trey's ready for this pitch. Morgan, I should say, is ready for this pitch right here.
Ball 4, and that'll walk in the winning run. The Aces are going to take game number 1. Final score 4-3. Aces lead it 1-0 here in the 3-game series. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back for game number 2 shortly. On your screen right now, we have Fantasy Wiffle Ball, brand new to the AWA this season. Make sure you go to playertrader.net/AWA to play today. Choose your favorite wiffle ball players, plug them into your roster, and have the chance to win prizes every week if you score the most fantasy points in a given week. Make sure you go to playertrader.net/AWA to play today. Again, game number 2 will be started momentarily here between the Aces and the Mojo. If you're just joining us, game number 1 was won by the Aces. Final score 4-3. They lead this series 1-0. About to get game number 2 started here momentarily. Pretty cool. We got Chase's dog here in the booth with us tonight. Simba Cam. What's your dog's name again? Chip. Chip is joining us in the booth. Pretty cool. We're excited to have him. Chip's joining us, just hanging out up here in his little dog bed. Pretty cool. I should have introduced him on the broadcast to begin the game. Chip.
He's so quiet over there. It's like you don't even know he's there.
Me, you, and Chip up here tonight, Chase.
He's just providing us with a bunch of farts.
Moses Valadez will be on the mound here for the Aces in game number 2. No surprise there. Valadez getting the win in game number 1. Dominic DeMuro will lead it off for the Mojo to start this game number 2. Again, Dominic DeMuro leading it off for the Mojo. DeMuro providing all the offense for the Mojo back in game number 1. Had a 3-run home run. Unfortunately, was not enough to beat the Mojo or the Aces, as the Aces pulled away with a 4-3 victory in game 1.
Yeah, but
ground ball past Valadez on the mound. Granich throws over to Jandok at first, and it's offline. DeMuro will reach to start this game number 2. Runner on first, nobody out. Trey Clugston will step in now for the Mojo.
And after Dom's first at bat where he struck out, I mean, he's just been absolutely crushing it, putting the ball over the field, right, left, center. Having a great day, continuing where he's left off here all season.
Looking at the stats for DeMuro this season, hitting .527 on the year. Had his 5th home run last game, 5 home runs, and I believe 27 RBIs now on the season for DeMuro.
That average is not something to scoff at with all those RBIs and home runs.
Absolutely not, as I believe he is the only player in the AWA to have over a 500 average this season. As that pitch hits the zone from Valadez. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the count here to Clugston.
You know, got to be thinking at some point maybe triple crown. I mean, that's not easy to do in this league, but
it's not, as Clugston looks at strike 3. It's the first out here in the top of the first. 1 away and 1 on for Austin Whitehouse.
At some point, Trey's just got to pull the trigger on those pitches, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one thing to be patient, but against a great pitcher like Valadez, he's going to hit the zone. Not somebody that's just going to sit up there and throw you 4 balls generally. So that's popped up into the air by Whitehouse, and Schofield makes the grab, fakes it like he dropped it. Not going to work on DeMuro. 2 away here in the top of the first. Dominic DeMuro is going to step back up to the plate for the Mojo.
Nice try there by Aaron, but you're not going to deke Dom on a play like that. He's got the baseball IQ of almost higher than anyone out here.
First pitch to DeMuro is inside for ball 1. Valadez trying to figure out how to pitch to DeMuro, as Valadez was able to strike out DeMuro in his first at bat, but since then, DeMiro's been great.
Yeah, and like that pitch right there, Dom was all over it, but just missed it. And Moses not being able to, a little nervous, you can tell when Dom's up, not being able to paint the zone as much as he has with the other batters.
2-1. That is inside for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike to DeMiro. Swing and a miss, and the count now moves full to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Nice pitch there by Moses. Getting Dom to bite on that.
As that hits DeMiro on the arm for ball 4. Runners on first and second now for the Mojo. Up steps Trey Clugston. Been looking at a lot of strikes here tonight. We'll see if he gets the bat off of his shoulders and shows us that home run swing he's very capable of.
I think he's gonna just rip it. He's gonna get that curve in there this time. He's just gonna drive that thing over the left field wall.
First pitch here to Clugston is ripped high and deep. It hits off the very top of the fence as that throw home is not going to be in time to get Austin Whitehouse. It's going to be an RBI double for Trey Clugston as the Mojo take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. That was just barely a home run. Trey hit the yellow piping out in deep left center, just unfortunately wasn't high enough, didn't go over the fence. An RBI double.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting. Right when I was saying it, I mean, took that pitch, he was ready for it after his last 4 at-bats, and just missed a home run by 2 inches, an inch maybe. I mean, right off that yellow line out there.
You can't get any closer than that.
No, that is, you just got to hope the bounce helps you out there, and it did not on that right there.
2-1 here to Austin Whitehouse. Mojo trying to add on to this 1-0 lead. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Trey Clugston, but that was a beautiful hit to the deepest part of the park. Just barely misses a home run. Full count now to Whitehouse. Swing and a miss. Austin Whitehouse strikes out on the sinker from Valadez for out number 3, but the Mojo score a run and take an early 1-0 lead thanks to a Trey Clugston RBI double. We go to the bottom of the first here in game number 2.
Austin Whitehouse on the mound for the Mojo this game, making his 2023 AWA debut on the mound. See what he has in store for us against this Aces offense.
Pretty interesting move from the Mojo, going with Whitehouse instead of DeMiro, who has been so good this season. One of the best pitchers in the league is Whitehouse starts Schofield, and Schofield rips that past DeMiro. Sco rounding first, looking to go to second, but DeMiro runs that in just in time. A leadoff single for Aaron Schofield.
What I'm thinking is maybe Tom is sacrificing his pitching in these games and saying, leave me in the field and we have a better chance at winning these games if we can allow our pitcher like Austin to put the ball in play and I can make the play on defense.
That might be the tactic. The Mojo are down a game already in this series. Aces lead at 1-0 in the 3-game series. So an interesting decision. See how Austin Whitehouse fares here in game number 2. So that is inside to Valadez, 3-1. One thing I will say about Austin Whitehouse is he was a very good pitcher back in high school. See if that correlates here to wiffle ball.
Yeah, he seems like he got the mechanics down. I mean, looks like a solid pitcher up there, but like we all know, once you get on that wiffle ball mound and the ball starts moving 6 feet on every pitch, it's not easy to locate.
Definitely moves way more than a baseball does, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And that's ripped high and deep, and Morgan Granich hits a 3-run home run, his first home run ever in the AWA. Congratulations to Morgan Granich, able to get that first one out of the way, and the Aces take a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the first as Granich is going to get the Wiffle King helmet. There it is.
And that thing was just absolutely destroyed to the deepest part of the park. That thing was still on the way up as it was going over the front, so no cheap shot right there for Morgan on his first career home run in the AWA.
That was launched to the deepest part of the park. And we were talking about it before the game. You know, it's tough as a rookie to not have that first home run, and there Granich is getting it out of the way. 3-run home run gives this Aces team a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, and I'd be scared if he can get it going like that, right, and add to this Aces offense. It'd be a whole new momentum changer for this Aces team.
Jack Scholl looks at ball 3, 3 balls, 1 strike. Now to Scholl. He does go around there for strike 2. That brings the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hits the zone, strike 3. That pitch freezes Jack Scholl for out number 1. Up steps Kanoa Jandok for the Aces. So that's the first strikeout of the day for Austin Whitehouse.
Nice job by Austin there, giving up the deep home run, battling back and getting the strikeout to the very next batter.
Swing and a miss there from Jandok for ball 1, or for strike 1. It's been a long day, man.
It has been a long day. It's hot. We're out here still grinding.
0-2 here to Jandok. Swing and a miss, and Jandok strikes out on 3 pitches. Back-to-back strikeouts for Austin Whitehouse, and there's now 2 away in the bottom of the first. Whitehouse, after giving up that 3-run home run to Granich, is really locked in here.
Yeah, it's great to see. Getting 2 back-to-back punch-outs. You've seen that once this Aces team, once their teammates get going, they like to be a little free swinging also, and you've seen that back-to-back strikeouts in games after they've scored runs.
Aaron Schofield steps up to the plate as he looks at ball 1. Ground ball down the third base side. That'll be fair. We're gonna check this out. It's gonna be a foul ball as it hits the bush down there on the third base side. Strike 1 here to Aaron Schofield, 1-1.
Just missed a base hit there.
Swing and a miss for strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes, now the count.
Dropped Schofield down to a knee on that swing.
Ground ball down the third base side. DeMiro picks it up, throws to first, but not going to be in time to get Aaron Schofield. That's an infield single for Aaron Schofield. Runner on first, 2 away. Moses Valdez steps in, and you know, it's always awkward for a lefty to play third base, as DeMiro had to turn around and try to throw that over to Trey Cluxton at first, not in time.
Yeah, we saw that on Monday also with the Cyclones and Alex Ballard playing shortstop for them.
One of the worst parts about being a lefty is not being able to play that side of the infield. Third base, shortstop, second. As that is hit high and deep, but it's going to stay into the yard, and Trey Cluxton is able to hold on for out number 3. But the Atlantic Aces score 3 runs in the bottom of the first thanks to a Morgan Granich 3-run home run. They lead it 3-1. We go to the top of the second here in game number 2. Austin Whitehouse steps in for the Mojo. As he looks at strike one. 1-1 here to Whitehouse. Swing and a miss for strike two. Whitehouse now in an 0-2 hole. So that is outside for ball one. 1-2 the count to Whitehouse. Does well to hold off. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just a bit outside there. Full count now to Austin Whitehouse. Ball 4. Great job from Austin Whitehouse as that at bat started off 0-2, able to work a walk. Runner on first. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Mojo down a couple of runs, and up steps Dominic DeMuro with a man on and nobody out.
And this is where Dom does his most damage, when he's got runners in scoring position. I consider first base runners in scoring position here in wiffle ball. So.
You never know, you never know.
Yeah.
Ball 1 there to Dominic DeMuro. Does well to foul that one off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 2 in the dirt. 2-1 the count.
Mojo down 2 runs here.
Fouls that one back. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Moses fighting against Dom all series.
It's Dom for ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes now the count to DeMuro. Pitch on the way is ripped over the head of Schofield off the left field wall for a single. Runners on first and second for the Mojo. Still nobody out, and Trey Clugston is going to step in.
Trey ripped that single. I mean, was so close to hitting a home run his last at bat. See if he can get his pitch again this at bat and do the same thing.
That is just outside for ball 1, 1-0, and yeah, Clugston just barely missing that. Like, it hit the yellow piping on the top of the fence. You can't get any closer to a home run than that. And so Trey will be hunting for that home run. He's due.
Felt robbed. You could hear him say on that one. He's been working hard for it and just falling inches short.
Ground ball past Valadez on the mound. Schofield is just not going to have a play, as that's an infield single for Trey Clugston. That'll load the bases for the Mojo. To the plate is Austin Whitehouse. Still nobody out here in the top of the second. This is a difficult position here for the Aces, trying to maintain this 2-run lead. Looks like the Aces are going to play the infield in potentially here. That's hit high and deep, and that might have a chance. It stays in the yard. Schofield's not able to hold on, as 2 runs are going to score, and that gets by Kranich, and another run is going to score. That's going to score 3 runs for the Mojo, as they now take a 4-3 lead here in the top of the second inning.
So bases were loaded there. So Austin went 3 runs forward. Okay. So the guy on third first? Yeah, 3 runs forward. Those runners just running around doing crazy stuff. And the reason, so the reason that run scored is because that ball
was not out of play. So assuming that that was a real runner, he would have scored on that play because the ball was out in center field and nobody was even next to it. He didn't run on that. He's not awarded third because that was still in play. Yeah, we need to take that. Yeah, so it was a fly ball was center field. So no, it wasn't fly. So if you try to make a play at the wall, he wasn't able to hold on. Right? I think the ball hit the wall. It bounced over past the and then I think Schofield threw it in, Bowders, I believe, and I think they tried to hit Austin, but it was the 32nd. The ball went out. No, I would not call that a good play. I would say he was just trying to make a tough play.
Apologies for the time there. We were just making sure that we were scoring that play correctly. It's going to go down as a 3 RBI single for Austin Whitehouse. He was able to advance on the throw in from the Aces. So the Mojo are going to score 3 runs on the play, and they now lead at 4-3.
Nice hit by Austin there, causing some chaos for the Aces, who we usually don't see make too many defensive mistakes like that. So
nicks the bottom of the zone for strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes here to DeMuro. Ripped over to Schofield, past Schofield at third. Whitehouse rounding third, heading home. He will score, and Granich not able to hold on, and DeMuro, with excellent base running, is able to move on over to third. Another run scores for the Mojo. They increase their lead now to 2. It's now 5-3 Mojo. And DeMuro gets all the way to third after that hard hit ball gets past Aaron Schofield to the deepest part of the park in left center.
Yeah, Schofield couldn't chest that thing up, and
ground ball again over to Aaron Schofield. He can't field it cleanly, and Dominic DeMuro will score on the infield single from Trey Clugston. Now brings it to 6-3 here in the top of the second.
Just a little dribbler.
And Moses Valadez has now pulled himself from the game. Aaron Schofield is going to come into pitch for the Aces. Going to be a pitching change here. Still no outs in the inning for the Aces. It was 3-1 to start this inning off, and the Mojo have already scored 5 runs in the inning. One more run would bring them to the run limit and end the inning.
Anything.
If you look on your screen right now, you'll see Fantasy Wiffle Ball, which is brand new to the AWA this season. Make sure you go to playertrader.net/AWA to play today. Choose your favorite wiffle ball players, plug them in your lineup, and if you score the most points in a given week, you'll have the ability to win prizes. Make sure you go to playertrader.net/AWA to play today. Aaron Schofield will be the new pitcher for the Aces, getting some warm-up pitches in here. We will be back momentarily for Aaron Schofield's first pitch. Aaron Schofield, the new pitcher for the Aces. Austin Whitehouse will be up to the plate for the Mojo.
Had that huge single his last at bat off Moses. Score 3 runs for them and give them the lead 4-3 in this game.
And Valdez has pitched so well here today. It just seems like the wheels fell off here in the second. Still no outs in the inning, and the Mojo have scored 5 runs.
I recall it was kind of similar situation last week we had. He had that great game 1 and then kind of wheels fell off, as you said.
Ground ball over to Granic. He fields it cleanly, flips to Jandok, and is able to get out number 1. 1 away, but that will move the base runner over from first to second. Dominic DeMiro is going to step in for the Mojo.
Having himself quite a day so far.
First pitch from Schofield is in there for strike 1.
A little too hot there, 62 miles per hour on the gun.
No pitch. 0-0 will remain the count. It's outside for ball 1. Low and in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes here to DeMiro. Low and in the dirt again, 3-0. 3-0 the count here to DeMiro. The pitch from Schofield is low and in the dirt again for ball 4.
Not easy coming in midway through the game, thinking your pitcher's got it and kind of being thrown into the fire, so to speak. Not an easy situation for Schofield.
Runners on first and second. Trey Clugston's going to step in for the Mojo.
Trey's starting to find it this game. 3 for 4. Couple of hard singles to the left side of the field.
That's low and in the dirt for ball 2, 2-0. And yeah, you know, Trey had some strikeouts to Valadez, but really found it quickly.
Got it in his zone. And he had that close home run, and from there it's ball 4.
Ball 4 there to Clugston, 4-pitch walk. Loads the bases for the Mojo. 1 more run would end the inning, as the Mojo will have reached the 6-run run limit. Scored 5 so far in the inning. Bases loaded for Austin Whitehouse. First pitch from Schofield is outside, ball 1. Second pitch is over Whitehouse's head. 2 balls, no strikes, and it looks like Aaron Schofield is going to be pulling himself from the game, and Morgan Granic is going to step in. We're going to take a short break here as we let Morgan Granic get some practice pitches in. We'll be right back momentarily. Again, we're having a pitching change here for the Aces. The second pitching change of the inning. Moses Valadez started off this inning, gave up multiple runs in the inning, and then Aaron Schofield came in for Valadez, walked a couple of batters, and Schofield pulled himself, and now Morgan Granic is in for the Aces. And in the middle of the at-bat, Schofield pulled himself. It was a 2-0 count. Again, the Mojo have scored 5 runs in the inning. 6 runs would end the inning as they reached the run limit. In innings 1 and 2 in the AWA, you can only score a maximum of 6 runs in an inning. In the final inning, you can score as many as possible. First pitch here to Whitehouse is ripped over to Jack Scholl, and that's going to score a run, an RBI single for Austin Whitehouse, and that's going to end the inning as the Mojo reach the run limit. They score 6 runs in the inning. It's 7-3. We go to the bottom of the second here in game number 2.
No, I literally practice at the facility. I'm hard. Yeah, I come out here, it's just like hot tub. I know how it is. My hands also slay, bro. Dude, like, and then like some balls will move certain ways. Even don't be doing off balance too.
Austin Whitehouse on the mound for the Mojo. Morgan Granish will step in. Granish hitting a 3-run home run back in the first, his first home run ever in the AWA. First pitch from Whitehouse is inside for ball 1, 1-0.
Austin's got a bit of a lead here, going on the bottom of the second. Team providing with 6 runs last half inning.
Always feels good to pitch with a lead, that's for sure.
No doubt about that. When you know your team's putting up 6 runs or 5-6 runs almost every inning, you got a lot of room to work with.
3-1. Let's count here to Granish. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Count is full.
Just off the plate there.
Full count here to Granish. Hits him in the foot for ball 4. Aces start this bottom of the second, getting a runner on. Up to the plate is Jack Scholl for the Aces.
Struck out looking his last at bat. Looking to get it going here this game. 0 for 1.
Runner on first. Nobody out. So that's popped up in the air, and that's going to be a fair ball. Great job there from Jack Scholl. Infield single for him. Runners on first and second for the Aces, as they're trying to come back from this.
Saw Austin maybe try to blow that ball foul there as it almost dribbled to the foul territory, but ended up sticking there and fair. Not much you can do with that.
Aces trailing by 4 here in the bottom of the second. Swing and a miss there from Kanoa Jandok for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. He does go around there for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Way outside, ball 2, 2-2.
Quiet day for Kanoa so far.
Outside again, full count to Kanoa Jandok. Pitch from Whitehouse is in there for strike 3. Jandok strikes out swinging, 1 away. Here in the bottom of the second. Up steps Aaron Schofield for the Aces.
Great job by Whitehouse there. Getting a big strikeout after letting the first 2 guys on base. Been seeing him do that quite a bit in the first inning. He'll give up those 3 runs, proceed to strike out the next 2 guys. So we'll see what he does here against Aaron.
Aaron Schofield had a home run back in game number 1, a solo home run. Looks at a ball inside there, 1-0.
You're looking to rip a pitch here.
That's fouled back into the booth for strike 1.
Chip, you got to make that catch, buddy. Landed right in his bed.
Come on, Chip. What's going on? Pitch here to Schofield is outside.
Thought I raised you better,
Ball
Chip.
2-1. Outside again from Whitehouse, and the count is now 3-1. Popped up into foul territory.
Nice job by
3 balls
Whitehouse.
and 2 strikes.
Pinning the inside of the plate there.
Ground ball ripped down the third base side, foul, and the count remains 3-2. Popped up into the air. Whitehouse coming on. He makes the grab, able to hold on, and Scholl is caught off the bag, but the Aces are going to get a runner in, and Jack Scholl advances all the way to third. So an interesting series of events there for the Aces. A run scores. It's now 7-4. Scholl advances all the way over to third. Schofield is out. Now 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Moses Valadez steps up to the plate for the Aces.
Who says pitchers can't be athletes? Look at that play right there by Austin.
It's an incredible play by Austin Whitehouse. Able to hold on.
Big second out there.
Pitch is high from Whitehouse. 1 ball and 1 strike. Inside for ball 2, 2-1. Swing and a miss from Valadez. Evens the count at 2-2. That hit the zone for strike 3. Or it was too low, too low. So it's going to be 3-2. Full count.
It's 3-2.
Full count here to Valadez. 2 outs. Runner on third. Ground ball back to Austin Whitehouse on the mound. It gets underneath him. Dom is coming on but can't make the play on Valadez. That'll score another run for the Aces. It's now 7-5 Mojo. Valadez reaches over at first.
Yeah, no one covering first base on that one. We've seen that quite a bit today from the Mojo. Moses taking full advantage of that short-handed Mojo infield.
Morgan Granich steps in with a runner on and 2 outs. So that hits the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike.
1 for 1 this game. Morgan with that long home run. Also got on base with a walk.
Just high there from Whitehouse. 2-1. Way outside there from Whitehouse. 3 balls, 1 strike. Runner on first for the Aces, down a couple of runs here in the bottom of the second. Morgan Granich had his first ever home run last inning, 3-run homer. Looking to add on here. So that's inside for ball 4. Granich gets on with a walk. Runners on first and second. Jack Scholl steps in now for the Aces.
Mojo just need 1 more out in this inning to head to the top of the third, up 7-5.
Pitch is low from Whitehouse. 1-0 here to Scholl. Swing and a miss from Scholl for strike 1. A ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss again at the high pitch. As Scholl chasing, and there's now a ball and 2 strikes. 2 runners on, 2 outs. Pitch from Whitehouse is just high, evens the count at 2-2.
Looked like a good pitch. Nice job by Jack to lay off that one.
2-2 from Whitehouse is fouled off by Scholl, and the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Pivotal pitch right here.
Pitch from Whitehouse is outside, and there's now a full count here to Scholl. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. The tying run for the Aces on at first. The go-ahead run at the plate. The pitch from Whitehouse is high, and Jack Scholl will walk. Great job there from Jack Scholl. A good battle from him. Loads the bases up for the Aces. Kanoa Jandok is going to step in. Jandok been a little quiet on the day. It's been very clutch for this Aces team so far this season. See if he can come in clutch again for them here in this critical situation.
Clutch Kanoa up to bat, baby. This is the guy you want if you're an Aces fan. No one better.
1-1 is the count to Jandok as that hits him on the back to move the count to 2-1. Just outside, 3 balls, 1 strike now to Jandok.
Aces hitters being very picky last couple of bats.
And that hits Jandok on the arm. That's going to walk in a run and cut this Mojo lead down to just 1 run now. 7-6 is the score. Bases remain loaded, still 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Back to the top of the order with Aaron Schofield.
It's 2 for 3 this game. Some nice singles. See if we can keep it going against Austin.
Big swing and a miss there from Schofield for strike 1, 0-1. That hits Schofield on the leg for ball 1. A ball and 1 strike, the count. Ground ball. It's a fair ball down the third base side. That's going to stay fair, and Greenwich is going to score. It's going to be an RBI single for Aaron Schofield as the game is now tied 7-7 in the bottom of the second. Valadez steps in, and that's ripped high and deep, and Valadez hits a grand slam, and this Aces team has come all the way back down 7-3, and they now lead it 11-7.
Wow, what a series of events right there for the Aces, scoring 8 runs in the inning. I mean, that's how you do it right there. A great comeback, not comeback yet, but great response. They gave up 6 runs in the top of the second. They answered with 8 runs in the bottom of the second. Great job there by the Aces.
That's going to end the inning as the Aces, as you mentioned, Chase, score 8 runs in the bottom of the second after giving up the maximum run limit to the Mojo at 6 runs in the top of the second. And this Aces team is not quitting and going easily. It's 11-7. We go to the final inning here in game number 2. Dominic DeMuro is going to lead it off for the Mojo here in the final inning of game number 2. Aces already with a 1-game lead here in the 3-game series. Won game number 1. Final score 4-3.
You gotta love to see that if you're an Aces fan. Moses, that's his first home run since that first series where he was just clutch for them and those 2 home runs. Great pitching debut, and I mean that ball was tanked right there in the last inning. So great to see if you're an Aces fan.
We'll see if the Aces can close it out here against the Mojo, up 4 runs. As Greenwich throws ball 3 here to Dominic DeMuro. 3-0 is the count. And, you know, what a change of events. I mean, the Aces were sitting down 4 runs going into that bottom of the second inning. end up scoring 8 to bring it all the way back and have now a 4-run lead as DeMiro walks. Started off here in the top of the third, and that's exactly what the Mojo need is base runners.
Yeah, and like you're saying, that was almost a perfect inning there for the Aces. The Mojo are going to need a little bit of some good luck of their own this year in the top of the third. I mean, what, nine is the most possible runs you can score in an inning, and they put up 8, so.
Pretty impressive as Greenwich hits the zone there. Strike 1 here to Clugston. Knuckleball nicks the side pipe on the zone for strike 2, and Greenwich now way ahead here on Clugston at 0-2. Ball 1 there to Clugston. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Clugston. Ground ball right back to Greenwich. He throws over to first. It's going to be in time to get Clugston for out number 1. 1 away in the top of the third, but that's going to move Dominic DeMiro over from first to second. Runner on second for the Mojo. Austin Whitehouse will step up to the plate looking to help himself out here.
Yeah, and the Aces are just counting outs right now as
low and in the dirt for ball 1. Knuckleball is fouled back for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1 here to Whitehouse. Swing and a miss. What a pitch there from Greenwich. Now ball and 2 strikes. Ripped way almost over the fence of the neighbor's yard. There's a fence behind the left field wall to the neighbor's yard, and Whitehouse almost went over that. So that is low and inside for ball 2. 2-2. Fouls that one back, and the count remains 2-2. Here to Whitehouse. Been a battle. Whitehouse is trying to get a couple of runs back here for the Mojo.
had that clutch hit for them earlier in the game. They got about 3 or 4 runs across for them.
Swing and a miss, and Whitehouse strikes out swinging for the second out here in the top of the third. 2 away and a runner on second. Dominic DeMiro is going to step back up to the plate for the Mojo.
Two outs here in the top of the third. Mojo down to the last out of this game. Got a lot of runs to make up for.
Mojo down to their final out, which is just crazy to say, as they were leading by 4 runs.
Put up that
going to the bottom of the second.
Put up the 6 runs in the top of the second to take that 7-3 lead, and then now they're back in the top of the third, down 4. So that's not what you're expecting as a Mojo fan.
1-1 here to DeMiro. Swing and a miss. Great pitch from Greenwich. And the Mojo now down to their final strike. DeMiro does well to hold off there. Evens the count at 2-2. Two here to DeMiro. Knuckleball, and DeMiro's able to foul that one off. Count will remain 2-2.
Dom has yet to get out this game. He's got 4 walks, a single, and a double in his 6 at-bats. 6 plate appearances, I should say.
Pretty impressive.
Especially after striking out his first at-bat, I think he's been perfect the rest of the day.
2-2 here to DeMiro is low and outside. Full count. And Dom does well to hold off there. He walks. Runner on first and second now for the Mojo. Trey Clugston is going to step in. Mojo still down to their final out here.
Not out of it yet, though. Trey somehow finds a way to get on. They'll have the tying run at the plate. But 2 outs, not easy.
see if Greenwich is able to shut the door here on the Mojo and not only win this game number 2, but win this series. First pitch to Clugston is inside for ball 1. Second pitch is low and in the dirt, ball 2, 2-0. So that is high for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes here to Clugston.
Morgan struggling a little bit with his command here.
And that is high and outside to Clugston for ball 4. A 4-pitch walk loads the bases for the Mojo, and this gets interesting now because this brings up the tying run for the Mojo to the plate in Austin Whitehouse.
Yeah, and he's been clutching up here the past couple at bats. He's got 2 singles in his last 4 at bats. Had that clutch 3 RBI single to center that gave him the lead here early on in the game, and he'll have to do it again here.
There's been multiple lead changes in this game. Mojo started it off with a 1-0 lead, and the Ace came back, led it 3-1. And it was 7-3 Mojo, and now it's 11-7 Aces. 2-0 to Austin Whitehouse.
I think that's maybe his Morgan's 7th or 8th ball thrown in a row.
So that hits the zone for a strike. 2-1. Count to Whitehouse. Low and in the dirt for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Gotta imagine that was a sound Morgan was longing for, that ball hitting the metal.
Outside for ball 4. That's going to walk in a run for the Mojo. It's now 11-8. And that'll bring the tying run on at first. And the go-ahead run for the Mojo coming up to the plate. And who other than Dominic DeMiro to the plate for the Mojo.
Yeah, this is the guy you want up. We've been saying it all year long for the Mojo. Right spot, right guy. I mean, no bigger moment right now for Dom.
See what he can do here. First pitch from Greenwich is low and inside for ball 1, 1-0.
Dom's just got that strike zone dialed in today. I mean, he's taking the balls, swinging at strikes.
61, it's too fast. It'll be a no pitch, 1-0 remains the count here to DeMiro. And Greenwich started off the inning very well, getting 2 quick outs, but he's been struggling with command here the last few batters.
Yeah, not what you want to see. Thought you were counting outs here with that big lead, and now here we are. Walked about 4 or 5 batters in a row and got the tying run on at first and the go-ahead run up to bat.
2-0 here to DeMiro, and that is spiked into the dirt again, and it's now 3-0.
Count here to Dom. Morgan taking some time to himself out there. Yeah,
just trying to get it back here. 3-0 here to Dom is swing and a miss for strike 1. Great job there from Greenwich. Able to come back. 3-1 here to DeMiro. Hits him for ball 4. That's going to walk in another run for the Mojo. It's now 11-9. Tying run on at second. And the go-ahead run is now on at first base for the Mojo. Trey Clugston is going to step up to the plate, and the Aces are getting together to try to talk this one over. Greenwich is trying to calm down here.
Trey 5 for 7 so far getting on base this game. Starting to feel it here in game 2 of this 3-game series.
First pitch here to Clugston is high for ball 1, 1-0.
Just missed the top of the zone.
Fouled back for a strike as Greenwich was trying to get there, trying to end this ball game. Ace is trying to take this game, and not only game 2, but the series.
Yeah, you got to think anything that's close to him, he's going to be hustling for to get that final out.
1-1 here to Clugston. Pitch on the way, hits the zone. What a pitch there from Granich. And the Mojo are now down to their final strike yet again. Low and in the dirt, evens the count at 2-2. Knuckleball is just high, full count. Now here to Trey Clugston. Knuckleball is fouled back, and the count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bases loaded. Mojo down 2 runs, tying run on at second. The go-ahead run on at first. The pitch from Granich is outside, and that'll walk in another run for the Mojo. It's now 11-10. Aces lead it. And the tying run and the go-ahead run now move into scoring position for the Mojo.
Yeah, this is not what you want. They got a quick out. They were counting out, so letting the runners just, getting the sure out first. And now, like kind of we were saying earlier, the wheels have kind of just fallen off, and now they're kind of not sure what to do. I mean, you see Morgan talking to his team and just trying to calm down a bit up there, and just 1 out away from getting out of this.
It's just been a game of lead changes, neither team being able to keep their lead, as first pitch here to Whitehouse was inside for ball 1. Knuckleball.
Got a piece of it, but just missed.
How fast was that?
Swing and a miss there.
Hey.
If it's too fast and you guys call it, you can't do that thing. You guys are like yell at me and say, hey, okay, that was too fast.
It said 53, but it wasn't first.
I think it's 50. So it should be 1 and 2 to count.
Correct.
Okay. All right, cool.
1 ball and 2 strikes here to Whitehouse, as that is ball 2, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball over to Scholl at third. This could end it, and Scholl is able to tag out Trey Clugston for the final out of the game, and the Aces, they're able to hold on and win this game 11-10. We're gonna take a look at it just to make sure that the call is correct. Trey Clugston called out going from second to third. And it is confirmed Trey Clugston is out. The run does not score, and the Aces hold on, and they win it 11-10 here in Game 2. The Aces will win the series, and we're now going to head into game number 3. The Mojo trying to avoid a sweep. Aces win it 11-10 here in Game 2. We'll be back momentarily to start game number 3. And we're going to send it down to Jack Blayhouse, who has Trey Clugston of the Metropolitan Mojo on the field.
Trey Clugston, we meet again. We had the pregame interview. You're down 2-0 here in this series. Not exactly the start you wanted to. Almost got it last game. Fought all the way back. How are you going to turn around here in game 3?
Just fielding mistakes. Fielding mistakes killed us last game. That was really the big one. We had good plate discipline. Only really swung at pitches that needed to be swung at, but got unlucky there in the second inning, so just got to fight back.
Now the strategy to pitch Austin Whitehouse in game 2, where's that coming from? You and Dominic have been pitching great all year. Why did you not go to Dominic in game 2?
I figured give Austin a shot. He said he's been wanting to pitch all year. His stuff really was pretty good for the most part. A little bit shaky to start, but really got to get him some reps, especially if we're not going to have consistent 1-2 guys if one of us is going to be gone or something like that. So getting reps for everybody, super important. Wish we could have squeaked it out, but can't win them all.
Excellent, sir. Good luck here.
Yeah.
Just heard from Trey Clugston, team captain of the Metropolitan Mojo right there. And it was a difficult loss for the Mojo. A couple of lead changes in that game, but the Aces were able to hold on and win it 11-10. And they win the second game of the series. They take the series, currently up 2-0. We're going to start game number 3 here shortly. Mojo looking to avoid the sweep. Morgan Granich will be on the mound for the Aces. This game number 3. Aces have a 2-0 lead here in the 3-game series against the Mojo. Swing and a miss there from DeMiro for strike 1. Aces trying to complete this sweep. Mojo trying to avoid the sweep.
Big hack from Dom on that first pitch of game 3. Looking to start this game off with a bang.
1-1 is the count as the knuckleball is too high for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Knuckleball is ripped up the middle over to Schofield at second, and he's able to throw, and it's in time to get DeMiro out at first. 1 away in the top of the first.
That's Dom's first time getting out of this game since his first at-bat where he struck out. Pretty impressive streak that Dom had going so far.
Great job there from Schofield, able to get DeMiro out.
Just a clean, absolutely clean fielding play right there by Schofield.
Schofield's definitely one of the best in the business on defense as Clugston looks at ball 1, 1-0. Swing and a miss from Clugston, and there's now a ball and 1 strike. Nobody on and 1 away here in the top of the first. Knuckleball is outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Morgan working that knuckleball. It's his go-to pitch.
Knuckleball hits Trey on the back, and those are difficult to hit. Those knuckleballs.
Yeah,
Dancing all over the zone. You don't know where it's gonna go.
Everyone's got their different type of knuckleball. It's gonna be completely different than Jordan Rice's, or I don't even know who else. There's another one in the league, but
Jace Pratt has a knuckleball.
Jace Pratt, yeah, I mean.
Evan Clugston has a knuckleball.
Does he?
He does. Yep.
That just seems unfair at this point.
I was talking to Evan Clugston on Monday, and he was telling me that Jace Pratt actually helped him develop that knuckleball as Trey Clugston walks there, runner on first, one away, and Austin Whitehouse is going to step in for the Mojo. But yeah, I mean, that knuckleball is tough. The hardest thing about wiffle ball compared to baseball is just how much more the ball moves in wiffle ball.
Yeah, and how all these different pitches that move at all different angles for each guy can all find the zone. You know what I mean? Like, you think baseball is the traditional curveball. It's going to bend at you, then slowly hit the zone, or the changeup's going to kind of look like a fastball and kind of just drop down. And in this, everyone's, like I was saying, everyone's pitches, they're the same pitch, but just different angles, different arm movements, and that's what makes it so tough.
2-1 here to Whitehouse. Swing and a miss there from him, and there's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And yeah, I mean, it's impressive. And some of these guys now, they've been pitching for so long. They have such an incredible repertoire. Like Jake Oliver comes to mind, having 8 different pitches, and he really truly does have 8 different pitches. And so it's just cool to see these guys, you know, show us how many pitches they truly have.
Yeah, and like you were saying earlier, I mean, Evan's knuckleball he learned from Jace, and you know, Evan being one of the younger guys in the league, you see almost a little bit of everyone in his pitches. I mean, I know he was taught a lot from Jake with the rise ball and stuff like that, and so that's the one interesting about Evan. I know he's not playing here today, but he's got a little bit of everyone in his pitches.
Definitely soaks up as much as he can possibly get. As Austin Whitehouse walked there, runners on first and second. But Jace Pratt is a guy for the Wolfpack who is really promising. The Pilots, we faced him a couple of series ago, and he had some really great pitches. Although we were getting some hits off of him, you know, he's somebody that's working really hard and definitely a rising star in the league on the mound. So something to look out for.
Yeah, you know, I've only seen Jace throw about once or twice. He's got some great movement on his pitches. Like you said, he got hit a little bit, but that's just going to happen in this league. I mean, no one's, like you said, I think the career or the average ERA each year is a little above 5, so it's tough.
Popped up into the air, and Jandok is not able to make the catch in foul territory. Dominic DeMiro is going to get another life. The count moves to even here at 2-2. But yeah, I mean, if you got arguably the best pitcher in the league already looking at pitches, you know, if you're learning from, if Jace Pratt is teaching one of the best pitchers in the league how to throw a knuckleball, it's pretty cool.
At this point, I think we should bar anyone from teaching Evan anything else in this league, in my opinion.
That's a ball outside here to DeMiro. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. That is fouled back into the zone. Count remains full here at 3-2. But yeah, I mean, whenever you're teaching the top pitcher in the league some new pitches, you know, you're definitely understanding this. That's popped way up into the air. It's going to stay in the field as Aaron Schofield is right underneath it to make the grab for out number 2. 2 away for the Mojo. Here in the top of the first, Trey Clugston is going to step in with runners on first and second.
You know, I kind of agree with my teammate Brock that practicing should be outlawed in the AWA, and that everyone should just have to show up and just exactly. So I mean, me and Brock have that kind of similar mentality when it comes to stuff like that. I love how just saying the name Brock, it just absolutely just
oh yeah, that dude's hilarious.
Dude, he's the best.
He makes me. He's probably one of the. He just every time he says something, dude's making me laugh.
I wish he was up here right now.
Ball on 1 strike here to Clugston. Knuckleballs outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now the count here to Clugston. Runners on first and second. 0-0 is the score. Ace is already with a 2-0 lead here in the series. That's popped up in the air, and granted, it's just out of his reach. Happy he didn't dive there for that one. Evens the count at 2-2.
Slipping and sliding on that concrete with the cleats always scares me. I'd never wear cleats out here.
I know, man. I mean, it's definitely needed when it's more wet in the months of April and May. But now that it's a little bit more dry here, not too bad. Full count here to Clugston.
Especially for more athletic guys like you and Morgan and them, you know, they like to go make those plays. Jake Oliver. That's where I tend to just kind of sit over there at first base, and balls hit to me. Good. It's not. I'm not going to make a play on it.
Swing and a miss as Troy Clugston strikes out there for the final out of the top of the first. No run score for the Mojo. It's 0-0. We go to the bottom of the first here in Game 3.
Got Dom on the mound for Game 3 for the Mojo. Third game, third pitcher this series.
And interestingly enough, this is Dom's first game of the series pitching. You know, the Mojo decided to go with Austin Whitehouse in Game 2, and unfortunately they weren't able to get the win there. They just nearly lost that game. It was 11-10 final score. Aces won it. So we'll see Dominic DeMuro here for the first time of the series as he throws ball one there to Aaron Schofield.
Yeah, and Dom's been one of the best pitchers in the league so far, just behind Evan and DJ, and having to face him Game 3 is not easy at all.
Definitely not. And Mojo trying to avoid the sweep. Ace is trying to complete the sweep as that is ripped and it hits the top of the foul pole. It's a home run for Aaron Schofield. That's his second home run of the day. The Aces take an early 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first of Game 3. Aaron Schofield hitting the very top of the foul pole.
Beautiful shot there. Clearly bouncing off the foul pole for a legit home run, and gotta love to see that. It's, what, 78 feet, and got yourself a dinger for Aaron Schofield.
There you go. There you go. It's always fun to see some home runs hitting the foul pole. First pitch here to Moses Valadez is in there for strike one. 0-1 the count. Slider is high. Ball one, 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's Aaron's second leadoff home run of the day.
And that is hit past Trey Clugston for a single. Valadez gets on for the Aces. Runner on first, nobody out. Morgan Granich will step up to the plate.
Moses has just been peppering the ball left side of the field. I think that's his 5th or 6th single of the day. Putting that ball in play and making Mojo work for it.
First pitch from DeMuro is in there for strike one. 0-1. High for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Granich. In there again. Strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes, the count.
You know, from experience, there's nothing harder than having that cutter come in on you as a righty, and then having to flip it when a lefty comes on the mound and seeing it come in the other box and then hit just like that.
Ripped to right center by Granich. Valadez rounding second, heading to third. And Whitehouse overthrows DeMuro. Granich will advance on the throw in from Whitehouse. Runners now on second and third for the Aces. Still nobody out in the inning. And the Aces are starting to hit the ball all over the field against Dominic DeMuro early here in game number 3.
Yeah, but like I was saying, nice shot by Morgan there, seeing that the whole way from the left-hander's box. Just putting that thing to right center.
It's definitely a little, if Jack Scholl fouls that one back. 0-2 here to Scholl. It's definitely a little different, you know, for a right-handed hitter. You have that cutter or slider coming into you. Definitely saws you off a little bit more than you'd like.
Yeah. And it must be even weird for guys like Jack Scholl up here. You're not used to facing a lefty all the time, so now you're used to seeing that.
Swing and a miss. The changeup gets Scholl to chase as Scholl strikes out for the first out in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and kind of like I was saying, those lefties, they're not used to those balls coming at them and then being a strike. They're used to all those being on the outside in the right-hander's box and coming into them.
It's definitely a little bit different when you have a lefty on the mound, and there's just not very many lefties in the league. DeMiro, one of the only ones. Drew Gradwell is another one that comes to mind, rookie this season, as Kanoa Jandok is looking at a 2-0 count. That's low. And outside 3-0 here to Jandok. Jandok does well to hold off there. A 4-pitch walk to Jandok that loads the bases up for the Aces. Aaron Schofield is going to step in with 2 outs. Bases loaded. Schofield with a solo home run in his last at-bat. Second home run of the series for Schofield. Both of them were solo home runs.
Both leading off the games. So nice, some leadoff power from Schofield today.
First pitch here to Schofield is high and outside for ball 1. Swing and a miss from Schofield. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Just outside there, 2-1.
Dom's been doing this a lot this season, changing up his motion, kind of like Nestor Cortez a bit.
Ground ball over down to first base. Whitehouse is able to field it cleanly and step on the bag for the final out of the bottom of the first. Apologies, that was the second out, not the final out. That run will score for the Aces. Runners on second and third. 2-0. The Aces now lead it as Moses Valadez will step in. Fouls that one back. Strike 1.
Starting to see that cutter, slider better the Aces are.
Swing and a miss again. 0-2. Now here to Valadez.
Dom's been trying to work that in this year. I've noticed he has this quick windup and then comes at you with this really slow pitch.
Popped up into the air. DeMiro coming on, and he's going to make the grab for out number 3. But the Aces score a couple of runs, and Aaron Schofield's solo home run helps them out. And they lead it 2-0. We go to the top of the second here in game number 3. Austin Whitehouse will lead it off here for the Mojo. Morgan Duranich still on the mound as Whitehouse looks at ball 1.
Austin walked his first at bat.
Swing and a miss there from Whitehouse. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hits the top of the zone. Strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes. I hope that didn't hit Chip.
Yeah, he was a little rattled on that one. And he worked on his catching, obviously, after today.
2-2, the count here to Whitehouse. Swing and a miss as Whitehouse strikes out swinging for out number 1. 1 away in the top of the second. Up steps Dominic DeMiro. Ground ball past Granich on the mound. Schofield bobbles it. He still tries to flip to Valadez at first, but DeMiro was already there, as DeMiro is going to reach with an infield single. Runner on first. One away, and Trey Clugston's going to step in for the Mojo.
Hey, Dom, I've been told that don't throw your bat like that. Yeah, just don't worry about it. They just told me that. Yeah. I don't know. I'll make the rules always say.
First pitch to Clugston. It's a ball, 1-0. Inside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes now to Clugston. That's ball 3. 3-0 here to Clugston. .30 pitch here to Clugston is outside for ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Clugston, and the Mojo now with runners on first and second. With only one away, Austin Whitehouse up to bat now for the Mojo.
Down 2, need to get something going here. Hopefully Austin can get a nice hit or home run like he did earlier this series. There was Chip for you, everyone, making his appearance.
Popped up into the air. Granich is underneath it and makes the grab for out number 2. 2 away here in the top of the second. Still runners on first and second. Dominic DeMiro is going to step up for the Mojo.
2 outs.
Aces sitting with a 2-0 lead here in the top of the second. Mojo trying to avoid this sweep. Who better to come up to the plate than DeMiro? Going to try to drive in a couple of runs here.
Yeah, they had some success against Morgan late last game, but just struggling so far to kind of find it.
Swing and a miss on the knuckleball. A good one there from Granich. Count is now even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Outside for ball 2. 2-1.
Dom 1 for 3 this game. Had that nice streak of his on base for about 9 or 10 at bats. Had that come to an end earlier this game, but I'm going to keep it going here.
2-1 is the count here to DeMiro. As the knuckleball is inside, brings it to 3-1. DeMiro has a home run on today, a 3-run home run, as he did go around there. Full count, 3-2. Had a home run all the way back in game number 1, a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
Way outside, ball 4, and that's going to load the bases for the Mojo here in the top of the second. Trey Clugston is going to step in. Clugston just nearly missed a home run to deep left center back in game 2. Hit off the piping, the yellow piping out there in left center. Legitimately couldn't have gotten closer to a home run.
Yeah, that's just tough. You just needed the ball to bounce his way, and it didn't happen there, but why not do it again here and help your team out in a big way?
First 2 pitches from Granich hit the zone. It's now 0-2 here to Clugston.
Trey's had some tough pitches around the zone today that have been called strikes for him.
0-2 here to Clugston. Runners, bases loaded here in the top of the second. Pitch from Granich is in there. Strike 3, a 3-pitch strikeout to Trey Clugston. And there's And the Mojo, they don't score any runs here in the top of the second. The Aces still hold a 2-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the second here in game number 3. Morgan Granich will lead it off for the Aces here in the bottom of the second inning. Aces with a 2-0 lead here in game 3, looking to complete this sweep against the Mojo.
Morgan has a single this game, had that huge home run last game for his first career in the league. Ended up being a big home run as they ended up winning last game by 1.
So that pitch hits the zone, a ball and a strike here to Granich. Aces trying to give themselves some insurance runs.
As we saw, you can never have too much insurance here in the AWA.
Just barely misses the zone. 3-1 is the count to Granich.
See if we can take Dom deep here. Ball 4 there for Morgan.
Granich on with a walk. Runner on first, nobody out. Up to the plate is Jack Scholl for the Aces.
Kind of a quiet day for Jack, one of the leaders on this team in home runs with 4.
That's popped up in the air. DeMuro coming on, and he makes the grab. What a play from Dominic DeMuro as Granich tags up and goes to second, but a diving play from Dominic DeMuro. He's able to make the grab for the first out here in the bottom of the second. What a job there from DeMuro.
Wow, that was an amazing play. That ball had about an inch until it hit the ground, and I didn't think he was going to get it. Got in there and scooped that thing up. Beautiful play by Dom.
1 away. Granich advances from first to second on the play. Kanoa Jandok steps in for the Aces as he looks at strike 1. Swing and a miss there from Jandok, and he's now behind 0-2.
Great play by Dom there, helping himself out. Just huge first out this game, or this inning, I should say.
Pretty impressive there. That'll be on a top 5 plays for DeMuro.
No doubt about that.
One of the better plays of the season. Pretty impressive there. Full extension, able to make the grab. Jandok does well to hold off there. It's now a ball and 2 strikes the count. Jandok does well to hold off again. 2-2.
Dom looking to just keep this lead for the Aces just at 2 runs.
That is in the dirt. Ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Jandok. Slow curve, and Jandok holds off on it. He walks as the Aces get runners on first and second. Aaron Schofield is going to step up to the plate.
Looks like there's some shenanigans going on in the field there. Dom tried to peg Morgan as he got a little off second base there after the walk. Barely missed him.
Aaron Schofield up to the plate for the Aces with a couple of runners on. Aces trying to add on to their lead.
Nice pitch there from Dom. Aaron just missed it.
1-1 the count here to Schofield.
One out here. Bottom of the second.
Swing and a miss from Schofield, and he falls down after that swing and miss.
About his second time, I think, today, falling down to a knee, taking some hearty swings up there.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Whoa.
And DeMiro loses that ball mid-windup. I've never seen that happen before.
That reminded me of like when a quarterback's playing in the rain and like they go back and just slips out of their hands somehow. Just, it's not usual to see.
An unusual sight. Definitely not something that I've seen before. Pitch here to Schofield. Is low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the count. Hits the zone. Strike 3. Curveball freezes Schofield. It's the second out here in the bottom of the second. Moses Valadez will step in now for the Aces.
1 for 2 this game. Had that big home run in game 2 to give them the 8-run inning on that grand slam. Be looking to keep it going here against Dom.
Popped up into the air. DeMiro. Thank the Lord doesn't make the play on that. That would have been tough. 0-1.
Just shake my head every time I see guys run over there. I just don't want anyone to get hurt.
I know. There's a lot of hard things over there that you can get hurt on.
That's what she said. Strike 3 from Moses right there.
Moses strikes out for the final out here in the bottom of the second. No runs score for the Aces. They still lead it 2-0. We go to the final inning here in game number 3.
And we got fantasy for you here. PlayerTrader.net/AWA Fantasy Wiffle Ball. Free money. Join up. Pick your players. Set your teams. Win prizes. Head on over to PlayerTrader.net/AWA Fantasy Wiffle Ball. So head on over there. Ball 1 there for Morgan.
Swing and a miss there from Austin Whitehouse. A ball and a strike is the count. Mojo down a couple of runs here. Ripped high and deep, and Austin Whitehouse solo home run, and he cuts this Aces lead in half. 2-1 now the score. Good job from Austin Whitehouse. Solo home run to straight center.
Yeah. First run of the game for Mojo. Cutting that lead just to 1 with 0 outs. That's huge for some guy from Austin Whitehouse right there.
2-1 is the score as DeMiro steps in for the Mojo. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Austin finally seen that knuckleball and just sat on it and just drove that thing to dead center, right over the 102 mark.
1-1 is the count. Ripped over to Aaron Schofield as he can't field it cleanly. Tough play for Schofield that he was ranging over to his left.
Great start for the Mojo this inning. Down 2 runs heading into this inning. Getting that lead-off home run and then a base hit right there from Dom. That's exactly what you want to start this top of the 3rd.
Tying run is on at first for the Mojo. That'll bring up Trey Clugston, the go-ahead run. here in the inning. First pitch from Granich is outside for ball 1, 1-0.
Struggled this first game, had an awesome game 2, and 0 for 2 this game with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, so he'll be looking to get it going again.
Ball is outside, 3 balls, no strikes now to Clugston. And that's low and inside for ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Clugston as there's now runners on first and second. Tying run on at second and the go-ahead run on at first for the Mojo. Austin Whitehouse is going to step in, having just hit a solo home run in his first at-bat of the inning.
Yeah, and we kind of saw this last game. Morgan got first 2 outs really in the 3rd inning last game, but could not shut it down. And here we are in the top of the 3rd and can't get it a first out.
0-1 is the count here to Whitehouse. Hits the zone, a quick 0-2 here to Austin Whitehouse. He's just trying to do anything they can here to get 3 outs and end this game and complete the sweep. 1-2 here to Whitehouse. That's low for ball 2. 2-2 the count. And that is not going to get past the bunt line out here. Two and 2 is the count to Whitehouse. 2-2 runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 3rd. Aces holding on to a 1-run lead. Swing and a miss, and Austin Whitehouse strikes out for the first out here in the top of the 3rd. Dominic DeMiro is going to step in for the Mojo.
Big first out for Morgan there. Let the first 3 guys get on, do a little damage, and then get a big strike out there, firing the first 2 strikes right at the zone. Just working fast and efficient.
DeMiro stepping in. Ground ball right back to Granich. He throws over to first. It's going to be in time to get DeMiro. Great play there from Morgan Granich. As there's 2 outs now in the top of the 3rd. Runners advance over to 2nd and 3rd. Trey Clugston is going to step in as the Mojo are down to their final out.
Got 2
First
outs
pitch
here.
here to Clugston. Knuckleball is outside for ball 1, 1-0. Outside again to Clugston. 2 balls, no strikes. Mojo are down to their final out. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Ace is trying to hold on this 1-run lead. Ground ball over to Jandok, and that gets by him. Whitehouse is going to score, and DeMiro will score as well. A 2 RBI single for Trey Clugston, and the Mojo now take a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 3rd. Austin Whitehouse is going to step up to the plate.
Nice piece of hitting right there from Trey. He had been 0 for this game and took that pitch and drove the other way with 2 outs and got two RBIs in here, and now they have the lead.
As Whitehouse fouls that one off. Strike 1, 0-1. It's low for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Tough pitch, just fell right below the zone there.
Swing and a miss on the knuckleball. 1-2 here to Whitehouse. Inside for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Morgan's really got that knuckleball dancing right now late in the game. Things moving left to right. Not sure exactly where it's going to land as a hitter.
2-2 here to White House. 2 outs in the top of the third. Runner on second. As that is too high for ball 3. Brings the count full here to White House. Swing and a miss. Austin Whitehouse strikes out for the final out in the top of the third, but the damage is done. The Mojo score 3, and they now lead it 3-2. We go to the bottom of the third here in the final game of the 3-game series. Morgan Granich steps in for the Aces here in the bottom of the third. Mojo trying to close this final game out, maintain this 1-run lead to avoid the sweep. Ball 1 here to Granich. So that's just high for ball 2, 2-0.
Dom looking to close the door here.
Ground ball right back to DeMiro. He picks it up and tags Granich for the first out of the inning. 1 away for Jack Scholl.
You know, one thing I've noticed is Dom actually does that more than others. You'll see a lot of pitchers when they field the ball, they automatically look to first base and try to complete the throw, but I think that's almost better right there. If you're fast enough and quick enough like Dom, you can get out in front, don't have to risk a bad throw or anything.
Minimize the amount of errors that could possibly happen from that throw. It ensures getting the out as ball 1 there to Jack Scholl. Ground ball down the third base side. That's going to be a foul ball, as it just barely went foul. Scholl almost beat the shift. Got a single, but count moves to 1-1 here on Scholl. And Jack Scholl looks at ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Slow curveball, and Scholl does not bite. Looks at ball 3, 3-1.
And that's as close as you can get right there. That thing just almost nicked the zone. Just missed.
Slow curve again, and Scholl chases after that one for strike 2. Full count now to Jack Scholl. Pitch from DeMiro is outside. Scholl does well to get the walk there, as the Aces now have the tying run on at first base. And that'll bring up the winning run for the Aces.
Mr. Clutch, Kanoa Jandok. Big time guy here. He's done this before. He can end this game with 1 swing of the bat. You just got to get his pitch.
Jandok has been quiet here tonight for the Aces. So definitely be massive if they're able to win this game and complete the sweep. Pitch here to Jandok, hits the zone. Strike 1. That slider is outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike at the count. Fouls that one off, moves the count to 1-2. 1 away here in the bottom of the third. Aces with the tying run on at first, winning run at the plate. Mojo looking to avoid the sweep, and Aces looking to complete it. Ball 2 evens the count, 2-2. Hits the zone, and Jandok looks at strike 3. It's the second out here in the bottom of the third. Aaron Schofield is going to step in. Schofield has a couple of home runs on the day, 2 solo home runs, one back in game number 1. Schofield had a solo home run to lead it off here in game 3. And the Aces, they need Schofield right now if they want to try to complete this sweep.
Yeah, he's either got to end the game now or keep it moving here if the Aces want to go for that sweep. big at bat here.
Pitch from DeMiro is low for ball 1.
We'll see how Dom goes after him.
Hits the side of the zone. Strike 1, a ball, and 1 strike here to Schofield. Popped up into the air. DeMiro is running, and he makes the grab in foul territory for the final out. The Mojo, they win it here in Game 3. Final score of 3-2, and they avoid the sweep. That's going to do it for us here tonight at AWA Field between the Mojo and the Aces. The Aces take the series 2-1. Thank you all for joining us here for Wednesday night Wiffle Ball. We will see you all next week on Monday for another regular season matchup. Good night, everybody.
Good night.